Welcome back, pod people, to a brand new episode of Cinema d'Amore. I am your host, Justin Morgan, and I'm here with...
Look.
And what are we discussing, Chuck?
I think it's the substance.
It's the substance. Which...
It better be, since I watched it.
Yeah, I think you would enjoy the substance even if we didn't discuss it. You just watched the wrong movie.
Yeah, maybe.
Be like, it was actually the stuff. Sorry, you watched the substance, but it was the stuff, and you really fucked up. But yeah, we're a movie podcast. Hopefully you know that by now. I'm pretty sure you can figure it out by the title of all of our episodes. This episode is going to be about the substance, and we connect every episode from the previous episode. There's some loose connection or a really tight-knit connection. Chuck, it's just kind of a game between me and Chuck. Chuck, do you think you know the connection between this movie and our previous one, Alien Romulus?
I mean, is it things hatching out of people?
Love it.
Creatures?
Yes.
Creatures hatching?
Hatching creatures. Yeah.
Egg.
Literal
There's always eggs.
Yeah, there's eggs, all kind of stuff. But yeah, creatures hatching out of people, that's it. Yeah, Coralie for Gates, I don't know how to say anybody's name ever. The director, she had previously did a movie called Revenge, which I believe came out on Shudder. I haven't seen it. Did you see it?
Nope.
I'm interested in checking it out to see how she is as a filmmaker. I think that might be her debut film, but don't quote me on it, because, why would I research the director that I'm going to talk about? It's a movie.
Why would you do something like that?
But yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. It was a lot of fun as far as like the body horror aspect of it goes. I know when I went into it, I didn't know anything. The trailers kind of made it out to seem like a commercial for beauty supplies or something like that. And I think that was a good capture of the tone for the movie, but I didn't know remotely what I was getting into from the trailer. And I enjoyed it greatly. I did like the themes that it had, we'll get into, about feminism and women in Hollywood and how they're treated and the male gaze. And I love that. And a ton of throwbacks to...
I bet you loved it.
Yeah. Yeah, and a ton
I can tell what you enjoyed about this.
You're starting to sound like my wife. I mean, yeah, when we left this movie,
between this and Anora, I am genuinely questioning what you go to see the movies for, so,
Yeah,
I'm seeing a pattern's picking up.
You're getting a pattern here. She's like, we walked out of the movie, so she's like, that movie was awful. And I was like, I liked it. And she's like, you would like it. Yeah, if you're wondering what Chuck's talking about, he's talking about ass. This movie is full of ass shots galore. And that criticism might take something away from my opinion about it, but that isn't the main reason that I love this film or have liked the film so much. But yeah, I don't say like it's not a perfect movie by any means. It actually kind of maybe be like, it might be too much of like a love letter to other filmmakers. Like obviously Kubrick and Lynch and Cronenberg, like even John Carpenter. Like I'm really feeling a lot of those directors' films in this film. And they've made a lot of the films that I really enjoy. So I don't know if I'd classify this as something where, I do think the main actors are very good in it. But then once it starts getting to like the more cartoonish characters, even Dennis Quaid, and I thought about doing it earlier because there was another movie that we did that had Dennis Quaid in it. And I was like, I should connect with Dennis Quaid. And I decided against something that I was more interested in talking about at the time. And I don't know if Dennis Quaid is necessarily like knocking it out of the park as an actor in this movie because he's so over the top. But
I mean, has he ever?
Has Dennis Quaid ever?
What's the movie you're pulling out that you're like that he knocked out of the park?
Didn't he do Frequency? Or am I thinking of somebody else? It's
Uh,
Jim Caviezel, and I thought it was him.
yeah, he might be the dad,
I think he is, and
maybe?
I really do like that movie.
I mean, as I was about to say, I barely remember that movie. I vaguely remember it. I think he is the dad, Jim Caviezel's father. If I was to take a guess, I mean, it wasn't Randy Quaid. I could tell you that much.
Randy Quaid. Yeah, we do need more, or Jack Quaid, you know? He's in a lot of things now. But no, in all honesty, not really like the hot opinion of this movie. But of all the makeup shit and stuff that they do, there's nothing more grotesque in this movie, and there's a lot of grotesque scenes, than Dennis Quaid eating shrimp. Like, it is probably the hardest thing to watch, because the camera's like got to be directly in his mouth. But yeah, I guess the premise, I'll go over the premise, and then we'll get into your opinion. This is a movie about Demi Moore, who played she plays Elizabeth Sparkle. And Elizabeth Sparkle was like a huge, what do you call her, celebrity. Apparently, she was also
Something.
an
She has
act.
a star on the Walk of Fame, so
Yeah, she was an actress, but like where we meet up with her, she's doing like a celebrity aerobics type situation. Like, oh, who the hell was that from Three's Company? Was it Susan?
Suzanne Summers.
Yeah, Suzanne Summers. It's kind of like a vibe like that. They do mention her winning like an Academy Award or something, but quickly the focus is on her age, and they want to get rid of her because they want somebody that's hotter and more attractive. And I mean, the sad thing is, I think Demi Moore is very attractive. So for her to like feel like she's, subpar is great right off the bat. But yeah, she gets introduced to a weird video that a nurse, I guess a nurse is what I would call the guy, leaves her for the substance. And the substance is described as like, I don't know how would you describe it besides what it does, but like how it's advertised.
I mean, it's crazy Ozempic.
Crazy Ozempic. It's like you can be the person that you want to be, but you also have to take turns being the person that you currently are. And it seems it's a little bit more complicated than I think most like films in this aspect. A lot of them would be like just a pill or something like this, and this one's like full on like these weird
It's got
instructions.
more rules than a Mogwai.
It does have more rules than a Mogwai, but it seems to kind of like stick with its rules. I don't know if the Mogwai's like, we have a lot of questions about them in general. The rules seem simple until you really start to think about them, and then you're like, when can they start eating again? What about time zones? Gremlins 2 brings these questions up. But
Yeah,
yeah,
they've already been answered.
yeah. But she decides to take the substance, and that's where the movie goes from there. What was your initial reaction to the movie, Chuck?
I mean, my reaction to most movies these days, too long. It was
Chuck,
too long. I'll flat out say that. It was too much. It was too much for what it is. I thought this movie was okay.
Charles.
It's, yeah,
So the
I don't know.
runtime killed you. When are you starting this movie?
In the middle of the day.
Oh my God, Charles.
I just can't. Well, the problem is it shouldn't be that long because everything in this movie is all surface level. There's no depth to anything. And if you don't have any depth, your movie doesn't need to be 2.5 hours long. There, it doesn't lean far enough into the goofy aspect of it until the last half hour, which the last half hour is probably my favorite part of the movie. And the entire hour and 50 minutes leading up to that it just felt like a lot of stumbling to get to that last half hour of insanity that I'm like, okay, this is the movie I wanted to watch for the entire runtime, and it should have got there a lot quicker than it did. It takes way too long to get to I won't jump in if you want to save that for the end, but the final act of this film is the best part of the movie, and it takes way too long to get to that.
I kind of like some of the stuff in the middle. Like
I know what you liked in the middle. We've already discussed it.
what did I like in the middle?
Oh, you liked Margaret Qualley.
Okay.
This movie, I feel like this needs to. It doesn't go far enough into it, and like again, everything's surface level. Like you have no clue who any of these characters are, other than their vague references to that. Yeah, like literally the only thing you know about her past is Dennis Quaid makes a quick reference to. Yeah, I don't know. She won an Academy Award one time, but that was years ago, so no one cares. And you never find anything else about her. And then she's doing this aerobics show that everyone's just like, it's the morning show. And they're just so vague about it. They're just like, it's the morning show. Everybody watches the morning show. Like, I almost wish there was more of the do more fake shows, like make it like a full on RoboCop, like where you turn the TV on and it's just the most insane things you could think of because these guys are in the TV business coming up with these insane ideas to try to get people hooked on TV. Because even when it switches over from Demi Moore to Margaret Qualley, it's still just the exact same thing. Like she comes in and it's just she exercises on the morning show, and it's like, is that just what everyone watches in this universe? Is they just watch exercise shows in the morning and it becomes the biggest ratings hit? Like that's just something like go a little bit deeper into the weirdness of it. Of like I said, make the TV, make it so that it's believable that oh yeah, they'll put anything on TV because they're trying to compete with these other ridiculous shows.
I do see some connective tissue between your feelings on this and your feelings on Beau is Afraid. Not just the length, but it seems to be if there's a movie that follows one protagonist, and I'm going to consider them one protagonist in this movie.
They are one. That's part of the rules.
They are one. They tell
There's
you
not two.
Yep.
You are one.
I mean, that is one of the things I do like about the movie is that in the movie they take turns. They're one person is like comatose for a week while the other person gets to be active and out and about, but they do bring up multiple times, that they are the same person. So what I like about it is that if you look at them, they are exactly the same and they are making the exact same choices. They very much do feel like the same person, even though Demi Moore will be like calling up the substance people and being like, this bitch isn't following the rules. And they're like, well, she's you. So we don't know what to tell you. It's all up to you. Like, you should know how you're going to react when you are this person, which is when she decides that she wants to be, she wants to be young and she's vain, I guess. I mean, I'm not saying that she's not like harassed into feeling that way. I mean, but we also are seeing it from her perspective. So maybe it's not necessarily as bad as it's coming off. But I really did enjoy the whole like how they're fighting over their time with each other or as the main person, I guess.
Yeah, but it can only ever go one way. Like it can't. Sue can only take from Elizabeth. Like Elizabeth can't take it back ever, which is like an interesting dynamic to play. That like she, and I think she brings it up. She's like, well, would it get reversed if we stopped it? And it's like, no, it can never be reversed. Like whatever happens to you just permanently happens. Like you can't go back.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess what I kind of like too is like she knows her other self is not responsible, but she still pushes forward anyways after she gets that like deformed finger from her staying in the body like an extra couple hours. And I mean, it does answer a lot of questions, maybe not all the questions about what can and can't go wrong with the substance. I feel like there's has to be situations where you can't switch out real easily or continuously go to this alley and in California to get your new supply of stabilizer shit. So yeah, I
You
mean,
got to prepare.
what's that?
That's why you got to prepare and you got to follow the rules.
You got to prepare, you got to follow the rules. There's always going to be rules. And yeah, even like this where I liked how we get to see what happens if one takes over. Like obviously Margaret Qualley wants to be herself 100% of the time, and she's under the impression that she can just you know keep using Demi Moore as often as possible, and we do find out that there's a limit. They do run out of the stabilizer shit or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So like there is
And another I mean, a good moment is when you finally start to think about it. Like, I think you at first maybe you feel bad for the Demi Moore version, Elizabeth
yeah.
Sparkle, because she's like, the other one, Sue, is the younger, more beautiful version that everyone loves. But like, I think there's only like one time that Sue calls that number, and she's like, I have to work all the time. Like, all I'm ever doing is working on making the show better, and all she does is sit around, like basically being like, she should be out there
Hmm.
having fun with her life. Like, all I ever do is work.
Yeah, and it's like it has like the vague seediness of, I don't know, like in a lot of ways it reminds me of They Live a bit, like just like the way that the corporation like it seems to be everywhere. I mean, we only really see, I think, one other person who is using the substance, which is like some crazy ass
Just the
old
nurse.
man. Yeah, who is the nurse, when he's not. I don't know. I don't know what else they would
That'd
use
be
to.
Yeah, that's another thing. That's another thing I would have wanted more in this movie. Like, yeah, show us more people, because we see there's like 20 or 30 lockers in that room that she goes to. So obviously there's more people using it. So it would have been interesting to see like other people and like their problems. Like, you just see like, and are they all like grossly deformed, because the same thing happens every time. Like, I mean, the old man pretty much says like, yeah, your younger self will keep wanting to take over more and more. It's like,
Yeah,
give
and I
us more
think
of
I
that.
think it's like I think kind of the message, the like you said, the very little subtext that you get thematically is that these people that are more or less vain that take this substance to become younger really run a high risk of their younger selves thinking that they could take off with it without needing the matrix, the main person, because those are the people that would be willing to do it. And it does kind of mirror the like reality in the sense that you have those people that will do plastic surgeries and they won't use real doctors. They're going to Mexico and they're not doing it in a very safe way. And I feel like that's kind of what this movie's channeling, for the most part. Obviously, it's going like way grotesque. And a lot of the characters, like the smaller characters, they're so strange that they don't feel like real people, or you don't have a person that feels like a real person for very long. Like I thought that her neighbor, when she was like making the wall or whatever, and he was knocking on the door, he was mad because of the drilling and stuff, and he seemed reasonable then. And then like the second time you see him, when he saw her like her show on the morning show, he's like obsessed with her and very like unrealistic, but like they also do a good job of like creating that creepy element when he says something along the lines of like, maybe you can give me some private lessons. Shit that you would say, Chuck.
Always.
I thought so. But yeah, I can't say that I've been a huge Demi Moore fan for her whole career really, but this stands out. I think this is like maybe one of the more fun roles that she's taken, and I don't know, I feel like she's definitely more vulnerable to do something like this and, you know, be exposed and show herself. And most of the time they're trying to make her like not look good. Like the makeup is designed to make her look bad. Like after Margaret Qualley has her out for like I don't know how long has passed, but the second time where she's got like the club foot and her half of her face is old and her hair is all like raggedy and shit.
I thought the part where she was like trying to get her leg straightened out, like, I was like, is her leg just gonna snap off?
Yeah. I mean, her leg does, well, not her, I guess that version of her leg snaps off, but we do get a leg that snaps off eventually.
Not shit, not till she goes full Rudy Giuliani.
Yeah, is that your favorite character? It wasn't Elizabeth or Sue, it was Monstro Elizabeth Sue or whatever.
I mean, I wasn't even talking about that. I was just talking when she's the old person. That's
Oh,
Rudy Giuliani. When
oh,
she's like she looks like the guy from the Six Flags commercials
oh, yeah, 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 yeah. She
when she
really
tries to like kill when she's gonna kill
Margaret,
Sue.
yeah. Yeah, that she does. Oh, and that is such a good I really like the setup to that scene too, where, like, we don't necessarily know how much time has passed, but Sue has some guy over and
I mean, she took all that stabilizer. She was filling up all the jars and cups, so it looked like it was
yeah.
a good supply.
Yeah, so you gotta get an idea, like, we basically know how much 7 vials looks like, so a lot of time has passed. I mean, I don't necessarily know when this movie starts, but we know it's building to New Year's Eve, and I feel like it's gotta be, uh, I don't know, it feels like it's gotta be, like, a long time, like, at least a couple months.
It's hard to tell. They're in California, so it always just looks like the summer.
Yeah. Anyways, she has that nosebleed or whatever, her stabilizers run out, so she runs to the bathroom, and that's when she, like, calls them, and they're like, "When it's out, it's out. You gotta switch. That's the rules." So she's like, "Fuck," and she switches, and that's where she wakes up looking like the Six Flags guy with, I mean, I feel like she was also, like, highly modeled after, like, the woman from Room 237 in The Shining. Like, I definitely feel, like,
Yeah.
heavy vibes for that. But, yeah, when she's, like,
The
looking
carpet looks like the shining carpet. Like, yeah, there's a lot of the long hallways she keeps running down. Like, it's very
yeah,
her whole
that red
apartment is
hallway,
very
those red
Kubrick-esque.
and white bathrooms.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, yeah, when she looks at herself in the mirror and she's like, "You son of a bit like, you gotta be fucking kidding me." And she's like the hunchback, and that guy is at the door like, "Honey, are you okay?" And she's like, "Get the fuck out of here." And he's like, "Who? Like, who are you? Who is that?" Like, that is definitely not the voice of the person that's, should be in there. And, uh, when she goes out and she, like, puts on all that all those clothes, like the Hunchback of Notre Dame type, like, shit with, like, the scarf and the sunglasses. Did you like the
She's gotta
cast
go
for
get the
this, though?
termination kit.
Do you like Demi Moore in this?
I mean, yeah, it's not even that big of a cast. I mean, the only real main characters that are her, Margaret Qualley, and Dennis Quaid. And yeah, Dennis Quaid's overacting on purpose, I'm sure, but it's still like not that great. But I don't know. They're fine. Everything, like I said, everything about this movie it's okay. I feel like it was overhyped from everything that I kept hearing that like, oh, this is like the greatest movie, and I'm like, it's fine. Like I said, probably from that moment when she switches back and then she tries to kill Sue. From that point on, I think the movie's that's what I wanted. I feel like the whole movie should be is just kind of that insanity of that. Like it goes full on kind of surreal in the even more so in that when she transforms because it's we kind of get that multiplicity moment
Yeah.
where
It
you
is
make a copy of a
multiplicity. You
copy and it
can't do
doesn't
that.
it, yeah, 100%. Yeah, when yeah, since she kills Elizabeth, she has no more activator, so she starts falling apart and like her teeth are falling out and her fingernails are falling out. So her only plan is like, what if I try to use the substance again and make another version and we get the monstro Elizasu.
Mm,
And then like it's a great she takes that picture and like tapes it to her face and
hmm.
everyone just keeps like pretending like this is normal. Like the guy at the back door is just like, there you are finally. Like I enjoyed that level of it just being ridiculous to literally just the paper on her face and people are
Mm.
like, yeah, she looks fine, like get her out on stage.
I do like earlier too when all her teeth fell out and she runs into Dennis Quaid and then like the CEO board, which is a bunch of old like white guys, and he's like, "You should smile," and you're like, I'm thinking that she's gonna show her teeth, and she does it, and they're like, "There it is," and he just takes off because he's fucking insane. But yeah, that thing with like Demi Moore on the back of it was just like I'm sure she wasn't there the whole time, but it's so fucking funny. And yeah, the scene where he goes to, I don't even know what 100% what she's doing. She's hosting the New Year's Eve show, But
Like I said, it's the same as like that when they keep you saying the morning show. They're like, it's the New Year's Eve show, and like they just won't like. I'm like, I don't know what the movie will never get specific on anything. They're just like, it's the New Year's Eve show, and you're just supposed to be like, I guess the New Year's Eve show's the big thing to be excited about. Apparently,
I mean, I think sometimes too it hurts you to try to tell too much. And yeah, maybe it's not telling enough. But
I mean, you got 2.5 hours, so if you're gonna use all that time, then you better tell me something. That's my thing. I don't hate long movies, but if you're gonna make a movie that long, then you gotta put some detail in somewhere. It can't all just be like vague, like it's the morning show. Like you got a long runtime, you got to use it for something.
yeah, and I mean, I don't know if it's a budget thing, but you don't see like very many fans of the show. You just hear that the ratings have gone through the roof, and everybody loves you. And then you see the crowd at the end, but like the auditorium's not that huge. But yeah, and then you have that lovely scene where it says that they used 21,000 liters of blood, which I'm all for, like Evil Dead level of blood, coming out of somebody
I
that,
mean, it very much is at the end there. Yeah,
yeah, like I thought that was, that's a lot of
they go
fun.
like full Elephant Man. That's definitely the biggest like David Lynch kind of reference there. Is
Yeah.
it's full on just like the Elephant Man coming out.
It did feel like the Elephant Man 100%. Like I felt all that stuff. And if you didn't feel it, it was like, here's a dead fly. Get it? The fly. It's, the fly. And I did notice like they would do some weird shots too, where like when they were in the shower and they would go up and up and up, so it looked like it was like a 16-foot tall shower. I did notice one shot that they kept. I don't know why they kept it. I don't see how it's like the only shot they could have where like the fucking wall of the shower moves like it's not supposed to. And they're like, I don't know how they didn't catch it or whatever, or they didn't fix it
Yeah.
with CG or anything. They're like, fuck it, the wall, it stays. But yeah, and I really do like that scene with Demi Moore where she's gonna go on the date with that guy that went to 10th grade homeroom with her or whatever the hell. I don't. First of all, I'm impressed if anybody really has memories like that because I would never remember like a very specific class I was in with somebody at all. That'd be out the window. But the scene of her when she finally finds the number, which also too I like him dropping the number in like the mud, and then instead of just
And doesn't
writing it
like
down on
rewrite
a
it
fresh,
down, just still lands it. Yeah.
yeah, he's like, here you go, which it just totally makes that's like the Lynchian side of things too, where I'm like that's like a move that Lynch would have made.
They're like Twin Peaks level characters. Yeah.
Yeah. So like the date's about to happen, and she's trying to like find the dress, but she's not satisfied with herself, and she's not satisfied with the makeup, and like she's looking, and she's all like pumped about it for a good bit. And then she's just like, fuck it. And like calls off, like, well, she doesn't call off. She like ghosts of the fucking guy. And I mean, it even keeps that surreal thing where like he's texting like 500 times, or like it comes off as if he's texting 500 times at once when I'm sure it's just supposed to give us a vibe of like what was happening throughout the night. I also like, and I do like, yeah, maybe it comes down to the time whenever she decides that she's gonna kill Sue. But when she like is the monster, like real monstrous, and she grabs her by the hair and just like runs down the hallway with her, and just like dragging her over the steps and everything, like I thought that was fucking hilarious. I also want to know if I did really like the score for this, but I am a sucker for synth, so but
Yeah. It was a good score.
I did think it was great. It wasn't too crazy like throughout the whole thing, but yeah, it would just do these like eerie riffs, and I kind of feel like it works better in horror. Obviously, I can't really think of something where like I don't know. Sometimes they go too hard, or sometimes, like you said, you don't feel like it fits. Like when we did All Quiet on the Western Front, and you're like, what the hell's with that Hans Zimmer riff? And I'm like, I don't know. You hated it, and I was like, I don't know. I fucking liked it. I don't know what to tell you. But you found the runtime to be exhausting, you said.
Yeah.
What
Like I said, it's like if you're gonna have that runtime, like use it for something. There's just so much that's like I said, it's all surface level. Like you just don't know. You never learn anything about these characters in the slightest, like of anything. Like again, what's the only thing we know about Elizabeth Sparkle? She won an Academy Award and has a star on the Walk of Fame, and that's like where any information on that character ends. And there's
Yeah,
obviously even less about Sue because Sue's just a copy of her. So we don't have
yeah, and
like
it's
there's just no.
more of an experience film for sure. It's like what it would feel like for like us to be harassed in the way that they're being harassed throughout the whole movie.
Yeah. Like I said, that's why I think and again, if you're gonna make a movie with this many rules, I almost want to say like you need to have them like break the rules that much faster.
Moral.
Like again, get to the get to the making a copy of a copy way quicker because that's where the movie's eventually going to end. Like I was like from the very beginning when you make a movie when you set up that many rules, you're like, oh, Sue's going to break all the rules pretty much immediately and start like ruining Elizabeth's life. Like you could just tell that immediately because you can. It's not a surprise in the slightest. So then once you set up that okay, she's gonna like start ruining Elizabeth's lives with the like taking too much time, it's like okay, then like accelerate it to getting to the point where she turns into a monster like that much faster. Like I didn't need a million scenes of the cutting back and forth between the two of them. Or like there's the one where Elizabeth's just like watching the interview with like Sue and some late night host talking about, and the interview just keeps going on about how great Sue's life is, and like kind of just very much is like, oh, you replaced Elizabeth Sparkle. She was terrible, wasn't she? And like just leads like a whole scene where she's like hysterical and kind of going crazy. And I'm just like, okay, we know where this is going. You know, it's going to get to a more monstrous version of Elizabeth and go further than that. And it just feels like it takes too long to get to there.
Yeah, and I mean there are things they could cut out too. Like I'm never a big fan of dream sequences, and we do have a large dream sequence in here, which probably takes up easily like 15 minutes, which is Sue doing her aerobics thing, and then she has like a weird chunk of something that sticks out of her ass, and it's like a second, and then you have all the people like we gotta find out what that was. I saw something weird, and they're all watching it,
Yeah,
and
they're
then she
saying to take it frame by frame till we find it.
yeah, and then she goes into her dressing room and she finds it in her body and she pulls it to her belly button, pulls it out, and it's like a chicken wing
Chicken wing.
because yeah, because
Because
Elizabeth's
Elizabeth
eating
ate an
like
entire
crap.
rotisserie chicken,
Yeah. I
which
actually kind of
I'm
thought
like
when she started blending
that's like the
stuff, she was
worst
gonna
case
start.
scenario to show like oh she's not eating healthy. I'm like a rotisserie chicken's not that unhealthy. It's chicken.
Yeah,
Like sure, eating some real junk.
right. I mean, even like not even the more subtle thing, I guess, not subtle, but the more subtle thing, like when when Sue comes back after like I don't know the second time, it's like her second week being alive, and she sees like the indent on the couch and like some junk and it like not a lot, but it's just sort of like, she's such a slob. Like she just they have no respect for each other, which comes down to not having any respect for themselves, which they really don't. But yeah, maybe a scene like that I would have cut out or somehow made it real, but it didn't really play into the body horror aspect of it. I mean, I guess they were trying to get Sue to have some body horror aspect, which she does, but later in the movie, like when her teeth and everything's all falling out and shit.
Yeah, like that's yeah, but that's kind of like what I was saying earlier. Like it's very everything's one way. There's only you only really get like the horror aspects when it's Elizabeth there. Like when Sue's there, there's like no horror aspects at all because it never affects the other way around seemingly.
Yeah.
Like kind of that's almost what you want to see. You get that dream sequence version of the thing, but even when she gets grossed out, and she's like, "Oh, Elizabeth doesn't take care of herself," but it kind of is like, what does it matter if Elizabeth doesn't take care of herself? Like she's nothing. Like you literally just use her to get get
Mhm.
the stabilizer from. Like, it really doesn't matter if Elizabeth takes care of herself in the slightest, other than, I don't know, she might die sooner if she has a heart attack or something like that. But like, yeah, I know what you were gonna say earlier when she's like blending up all the food and stuff like that. Like, I was almost waiting for it to be like to again go further and have like a scene similar to Dennis Quaid, like make it like really gross, like she's eating like this disgusting food and just like shoving it in her face and like
I
going
thought
all
she was
out and
gonna, like, put it
being like, oh, you
in
want it?
Margaret Qualley, like, I thought she was gonna be like, "Here
Yeah,
you."
something. It goes nowhere. It's a scene that's yeah, that's just there mostly for her to just stand there and do something while the interview's playing in the background and for her to complain about it. So it's like,
I did
again,
see the
you're
memes
wasting
where
your
they make
runtime
fun
because
of,
you're not
like,
doing anything.
The Rock. They'll be like The Rock watching Batista in these great movies, or John Cena getting all these good roles or something like that. And
Mhm.
it's, her with her food being like, "Yeah, man," like mocking her watching the video and be like, "You admit that it's me. You know that it's me." I guess I feel like for the runtime, you could have probably like, what else would you like to see? Because I feel like there's a lot of stuff with the substance that would be interesting to see. Like, I think I would like to see what happens if you terminate your person like 100%. Like, do they melt? Do they disintegrate? Does somebody have to come pick up a fucking body because there's an actual body now?
Yeah, like I said, I mean, do something like show us what the substance is. Like, yeah, give us a little bit more of like maybe she tries to like go to their office or something like that, or go deeper into that building where she picks the things up and like tries to actually track someone down. Like, make something more. I don't know. Yeah, bring something more. Make world building. Like,
I do
do
feel
any
like
minimal world building at all.
I feel like the more we talk about it, I feel like it needs to be longer. Like, it needs to be a mini series or something.
I mean, it's almost like one way or the other. Yeah, it's like if when I think about, I was even trying to think before, like the best horror movies or like my favorite horror movies out there.
Yeah.
They're all like 2 hours or less. Other than the only one I'll say is like are long. But if they're long, they're like real slow burn ones, like something like The Shining or something like that. Like they use their runtime really smartly because you have to have a really deep, slow pace to those movies because you're trying to like really set in like the isolation and the that kind of insanity in a movie. So if you're going to be long, you have to like really be building something to make it that long. Otherwise, all the best horror movies that she's obviously referencing, like Cronenberg's movies,
Like
John
2001: A
Carpenter's movies,
Space
they're all like
Odyssey.
90 minutes. Yeah, yeah. She's pulling the runtimes from Kubrick's movies, but like the much better horror movies that she's referencing are movies that are like 90 minutes or less at most often. You know, the Carpenter
Yeah.
Cronenberg movies, they're short and they kind of like they get to the point of what the terror is and get do all the crazy stuff and then get out.
Yeah, I mean, I think the director clearly likes to, like, linger with the characters for a
I
little
know
bit.
and this is so
Yeah.
I know you made the joke earlier about like there's no like no research. I did look up like some stuff about the director because
Mhm.
I was like, have I seen anything else by them? And I looked up and I was like, no, I never saw that other movie. And I do know I think this movie was supposed to be produced by someone else originally before it got to where it got released by I think it got released by Mubi. That's who
It
eventually like
did.
picked it up.
Yeah.
And it was originally supposed to be like Warner Brothers or Universal, and she took it away because they wanted to make changes. And she was like, "No, I have final cut. Like that's it." And like I'm all for directors having final cut, but this is like one of those times where I'm like, I don't know, maybe a second set of eyes. The same with Beau is Afraid. Maybe a second person in the room being like, I don't know, does that scene need to be this long, or do we need to show this much stuff? It helps sometimes, especially
Yeah.
when this is only your second movie. Maybe a second person in the room
I
helps to
think
trim
I
some of the
think
fat.
a lot of yeah, you don't wanna fight, but sometimes the best movies end up being, like, when you have some sort of restraint. Like, "Hey, our budget is only so big for this, so we got to figure out a way to shoot this in a different way," or something, and I don't know, like, I feel like the production design for this, like, I'm sure they built a lot of those sets because, like the corridor where they, you know, it's all red with her pictures hanging all over the room. And then they ended up covering it with blood too. So, but it's like ridiculously long.
Yeah.
So I'm sure
I
they
mean,
did.
but you could tell most of the budget went towards the effects, the
Yeah.
creature effects. Like that's where most of this movie's budget went to.
I mean, even the CG, well, I'm assuming some of it has to be CG, but I mean, it would be kind of cool if they're like, how did they make that egg split in half? They're like, listen, it's science, not CG. But no, there are aspects of it that kind of like lead me to be like, oh, I'd liked to have seen more. I also think this movie might have been cooler if they cut out Margaret Qualley completely and you just followed Demi Moore. Like when Demi
Like she
Moore,
just kept waking up and not knowing what happened.
yeah, I honestly think that might
I
make
mean,
a
I think
more,
that'd be very interesting. Yeah.
yeah, like
Or yeah, make it only don't necessarily have to cut out Margaret Qualley, but only have Demi Moore interact in a way that the only time she sees Margaret Qualley is when she turns on the TV and like sees her on TV and like
yeah, exactly.
that's the only way she keeps seeing her and like noticing things like yeah, something like that is a
Or the
more
hints of
interesting.
like what she's done, where it's like, what the fuck? Like, she sees that motorcycle helmet and shit, and she's like, what is going on? Like, you got rid of my picture. I don't understand. I think that might have made it more interesting. And because, yeah, I honestly think the stuff with Margaret Qualley that you see is probably the least important stuff because she
I mean, if you can
decides
sit
she
there
wants
and
to,
think about the whole movie with her not being in it and
yeah,
go, that movie completely works if she wasn't in it. There you go. That easily cut half hour off your runtime right there.
yeah. But I mean, I guess we're probably are following her for the fact that, like, they are supposedly the same person. But maybe they should have tied it, like, maybe they should have tweaked the substance to make it like you're 100% consciously the same person. So like you would when you were your younger self, you are your younger self. Cuz I don't understand. I don't know what the appeal would be like if they're like, "Hey Chuck, I have a drug that can make you look amazing and younger and healthier and everything that you've ever wanted to look like, but you don't actually get to live that life.
Yeah.
You're just going to be knocked out while somebody else is living that life in your place." Like, that would be the deal breaker for me because I'd be like, well, what the fuck? I don't want to be like,
Yeah. It's the worst trade ever.
cooped up. Or if I'm going to be a bum that's in my house, like, I don't want to be knocked out for 7 days. Like, go let my
Yeah, it
clone or
doesn't
whatever go out
I
and
had the
work.
same thought. Like it doesn't make any sense like after the first or unless there was some I don't know if there was like some ulterior motive that she could communicate to Sue or if Sue
Yeah.
like they're obviously she's the same person and she goes to that audition that literally the audition and the thing I think in the papers like looking for the next Elizabeth Sparkle
Yeah.
and she goes to that audition and they love her like if it like had some sort of plan that she like mentally said like I'm gonna get revenge on Dennis Quaid and like take down that whole network from the
Yeah.
inside out by going back like make that be like a plot that's the reason she's doing this is to get revenge on Dennis Quaid and like she'll expose him for being like a terrible person or something like that and she'll ruin his show or something
Yeah.
like
That
make
completely
that a plot
changes
I
the
like
movie. And that would be awesome, too, to be like, if you want to make it a horror, maybe cut her out, like we said, and you don't show what she's doing. If you want to make it like a revenge thriller or something, even if she's her own person, you think of things like the Prestige, where they would do the clone, and the clone would remember things up to that
is it a
point.
clone
What?
I said that's the whole point is like is it a clone you
I
never
feel I
know with
think
these.
I think it is like when they say that they are the same person, they're definitely sharing like the same body DNA.
No,
Like,
I was talking about the Prestige.
oh,
Like
okay,
that's a movie that deals more in the idea
of a
of
clone.
that central mystery of like, is it a clone or is it the original guy every time? Like
Yeah. I feel like
that does I was pointing out a movie that does like a better job of doing that kind of dynamic.
maybe they don't because you confused me, or I'm dumb. Probably dumb, but probably just dumb. Probably dumb. I don't know. Yeah, there are definitely more exciting, interesting choices that they could have definitely made. Because I do like the idea of like, because nothing happens to Dennis Quaid. He just gets covered in blood. I mean, it would be kind of cool if the blood like infected and killed everybody or something. Then at
I was
least
gonna
you
say, yeah. It's not even like he gets ripped apart or something at the end, or has some horrible fate or something. He pretty much just gets off like just nothing.
yeah,
The only thing I guess you could say, like maybe in the future he'll be embarrassed that his New Year's special like
that's it.
was ruined or something like that. But that's it.
I feel like it wouldn't be. I feel like they would still just replace them and just be like, we're not going to talk about what happened last year. Or it'd be something even crazier, like, even though it was disgusting, the ratings were through the roof. We got to have more bloodbaths. Like,
Yeah. Everyone loved it. Yeah.
yeah. No, I think what I liked the most about it was it seems like they lean heavily, obviously, into the practical effects. Yeah, it's not the most depth with the characters or anything like that, but I feels like a movie where like the momentum like does build up, like it starts to go faster or move a bit faster. And maybe, yeah, it fucks with the pacing, but like some aspects of it, I think like when she's going and she's following the directions and like, yeah, it's like a 40-minute runtime before we like maybe get Sue like coming at her or something like that. I really wasn't checking the clock, but a lot of time is being like, here's what this person's dealing with. She's losing her job because of being old, and here's an opportunity to make her young, which like conveniently kind of finds her. Which I mean, I'm fine with. I guess I really don't care that she didn't necessarily go looking for it and it found her. But I don't need all the ants. Like I'm satisfied with this movie, but I also would kind of am intrigued in like where else could you take it? Like what other things could happen with the substance if you're not following the rules, you know? Or like are they like, "Oh, we got to make another substance like these people are abusing it too much and we're secretive about it because we just don't want to get sued." I don't know what it is, but and I know Steph didn't like it, but there were like almost everybody I know that like I worked with on the last show, and 3 of them were women, did enjoy the movie. And I think that they enjoyed the movie more so because they liked that perspective of how it feels, how the male gaze feels for them. And I also think it's kind of weird because it does seem like doesn't this movie feels like it would have been made by a man, and it's not.
Yeah.
But I do see. I'm just gonna lay out 2 more facts, and then we can call it a day, Chuck, or an evening because we're doing this at night. It did win Best Screenplay at Cannes, and it's the first woman nominated for writing and directing a horror film at the Oscars. Still didn't.
Did it win? Didn't it win effects at the Oscars or makeup?
I
I
feel.
thought it did win an Oscar.
Well, we can find out. We have technology, Chuck.
Yeah, it won best makeup and hairstyling
There you
at the
go.
Oscars.
Well,
Did win.
and even
Demi Moore was unfortunately in the long line of actors that like made a comeback that get a Golden Globe and like every other award, but then when the Academy comes, they're just like, no, we don't care.
Well, even some of the makeup that was pretty crazy it wasn't all like monster makeup and stuff too. They did prosthetics for Margaret Qualley, and it looks like it's actually like her body when it's not her body. So that is probably the more impressive makeup stuff too when you look at it, when it's like I couldn't tell. It's not like what was it, Bradley Cooper in The Maestro with that big old fucking nose. And he's like hugging people, and you're like just waiting for that nose to fall off. You're like, that nose has got to go. There's no way that nose is going.
Come on in the eye.
Oh, something like that, where you like look at somebody and you're like, it doesn't belong. Or I brought up The Rock already, but the Ben Safdie movie, The Smashing Machine, where like you can tell it's The Rock, but they went out of their way to make him not look like The Rock, like on his face.
You've got like his forehead's like way too big.
Yeah, like they changed that type of shit, which I don't know. I don't understand 100% why people were drawn to it. They're like, I want to see if I can act and people like me for more than my looks. But I do think a lot of these people can act. They just pick the bigger paychecks. They're like, Jumanji 3? Yep, I'm in. I like all those shots of him with like in the jungle, and they're like, this is 4 different movies. This is not even the same movie. These are 4 images that look exactly the same, but they are not the same movie. And I am riffing here too. I do want to bring up, did you know the movie Walking Tall and the remake Walking Tall? I did see something in recent news that the guy that Walking Tall was based off of, who these people meant to kill him, but killed his wife, so he took revenge. Apparently, what they found out is like he killed his wife, and now they made 2 movies, and I think there's like even like a mini series or a show or something that was based off of it too, off of this guy being all heroic when he just fucking murdered his wife, and that was that. There's no easy way to sidestep into that, but I'm like, hey, we got to put it out there for somebody. Why not here at the end of the podcast when people are like, the hell else could they be talking about with the substance? But yeah, I still really like this movie. Love this movie. I still say I loved it. Prosthetics, ass, like you said. I do think I did like Demi Moore in this, probably more than anything else I've ever watched her in. I am interested in seeing more by this director, but I have to probably go back and like, I still have to watch more by Sean Baker. Like everyone's like, oh, you got to watch The Florida Project. You got to watch Red Rocket. So like, maybe my next movie has to be.
Watch.
What's that?
Got a lot to watch there.
I know. Maybe my next movie will be something I haven't seen. It's been a while since I picked something I haven't seen. And I'm like, I don't know what this movie's going to be. But yeah, we'll be back in 2 more weeks with whatever the hell Chuck picked. Thank you all for listening. We're Cinema D'Amore. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter to stay up to date with news and information on upcoming episodes. Find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podbean, Spotify, Amazon Music, Audible, Pandora, Alexa, or iHeartRadio. It would be greatly appreciated if you subscribe to our podcast on your platform of choice. We also appreciate feedback, so rate us, review us, and let us know what you think. And above all else, thank you for listening.